Question for you. You had this problem. Is the answer this? Or is it this? Austin. You think it's this one? I mean, it makes sense, right? Because 3 plus 4 is 7 times 6 is 42, right? That makes sense. Or is it this one? Is this one? It is this one. It's the bottom one. Does it make sense? You understand why 42 looks right, don't you? That makes sense. Why someone would think that it's that. But it's this, because of a thing called order of operations. We're going to talk today about my dear Aunt Sally, okay? My dear Aunt Sally. My dear Aunt Sally tells you what order to do what, okay? And oftentimes we have to excuse her because she's a little rude, okay? Awesome. I don't know if you did it last year. Apparently it is. Okay? So, first thing we're going to say is I'm going to ask you today to evaluate numerical expressions. Evaluate is just a fancy word for solve, okay? Or find the value. You can do that. A numerical expression is a mathematical phrase that includes only numbers and operation symbols. So, for example, this right here, 4 plus 8 divided by 2 times 6. That is a numerical expression. You don't see anything there but numbers and symbols, right? The other thing that we're going to talk about later this year, we're going to talk about algebraic expressions. And algebraic expressions involve all of that plus letters, okay? But we'll save that for later. And when you evaluate a numerical expression, you have to find its value. You have to figure out what it's worth. Now, when an expression has more than one operation, we have to know what to do first. We have to decide, do I do the division first? Do I do the subtraction first? Do I do the exponents first? Well, we have a really fun little way of doing it. It's called, well, some people call it PEMDAS or whatever. But the first thing we do is parentheses. Please. We call it please. Find the values with the exponents. Excuse. Multiply or divide from left to right. This is important right here. From left to right as ordered in the problem. And we do multiply and divide. Like we do it, that's one step by itself. Multiplying and dividing together, one step left to right. So even if you had the problem, if it was written something like 3 times 4 divided by 2 times 5, we would go left to right. We would do the 3 times 4 first to come up with 12. Divided by 2 is 6. Times 5 is 30. We wouldn't do multiplication first, 3 times 4 and 2 times 5. We wouldn't do that. Okay? It's one step left to right. And then adding and subtracting. It's the same as the multiplication and division. One step left to right. So, like I said, please, parentheses, excuse, exponents. My dear is multiply and divide. Aunt Sally. It's just a helpful way to remember it. Now, what I'm going to show you is exactly how I expect you to do it on your homework. If you don't do it this way, I'm going to mark it wrong. The reason for it is I want you to learn how to do it one step at a time. Because I know that there's a lot of you in this room that can look at that right now and have no problem in telling me that the answer to that is 10. You go, oh, that's 10. But you know what? I need you to do it one step at a time, because otherwise you're going to run into problems that look like this. 7 to the third times 5 plus 16 times 32. Put that in parentheses, put it all over 12. Okay? If you don't know how to do it one step at a time, that thing will kill you. Well, not literally kill you, but you won't get it right. All right? I like to look at these things, and you're going to hear me say this year sometimes. You're going to hear me say, don't let it choke you. Okay? This is like a hamburger. You guys all been to McDonald's? Yeah? You been to McDonald's? How many of you have had a hamburger at McDonald's? Raise your hands. Okay. How many of you have eaten a hamburger in one bite? What? And you're still alive? No, I'm talking a regular full-size hamburger. You ever try and eat that whole thing in one bite? Okay. It didn't work, did it? Okay. It either didn't work or you're dead, and I don't want you to die, okay? So, please, we take little bites. We take bites off of these things, one little bite at a time. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to do this is what I expect. I need you to show me what comes first. Who can tell me in this problem, 15 minus 10 divided by 2, what comes first? Brett. 10 divided by 2. So I want you to then underline the part that you're about to do, and then I want you to rewrite the problem. 15 minus whatever 10 divided by 2 is, which is 5, and then 15 minus 5 is 10. So all of your problems, you have to write the original problem, do one step at a time, underline what you're about to do. And I want you to work it down. Does that make sense to you? So when you're all done, yours should be like, they should almost all look like triangles. Okay? And I know there's going to be a lot of people like, oh, that's so dumb. Why am I doing this? Trust me, by the time you get a few years down the line, you're going to appreciate the fact that I'm showing you to do it this way. Okay? And making you do this way. So, you guys all have a whiteboard in front of you. What I would like you to do is I would like you to write down this problem. Do not do it. We're going to do it together just so you guys see how I want you to do your homework and you have practiced it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to figure out what we're going to do first. What comes first in this problem? Why does 21 divided by 7 come first? It's in parentheses. So we go through our list. Please means parentheses. All right, the first thing that happens is parentheses. So we're going to underline what we're going to do first, and then we rewrite the problem with that underlined part solved. So 9 plus, what is 21 divided by 7? 3. And then I like to put a little dot as a time symbol. I want you guys to start getting in the habit of that instead of putting an X, because when we get to algebra, you're going to start confusing times symbols with X's. And we don't want to do that. So that's why we put little dots. All right. So we did parentheses. Please. Then what's after please? Logan. Yeah, okay. But what comes after please in the thing? Exponents. And we don't have any exponents, so we're going to just skip that part. Then we go to please excuse my dear. We look for multiplication and division, which is right there. Then we rewrite it again. 9 plus 3 times 5 is 15. And then we add them together for a total of 24. Again, oops. See how we kind of got a triangle? All right? You don't have to draw the triangle if you don't want. I'm just demonstrating that my expectation is that you start at the top and you work your way down, and it should narrow down. All right? So on your whiteboard, on your own, I want you to do this problem. Six divided by 2 comes first, so we got 12 minus 3, which is 9. Next one, on your whiteboards. So this comes first, so we got 7 plus 4 times 3. This comes next, so we got 7 plus 12, which is 19. Good. So let's do this one. They're getting bigger, aren't they? Okay, so here's how you do this one. First thing that comes this comes first. So you got 24 divided by 3 times 3 to the second minus 10. Then you do this one. So you got 24 divided by 3 times 9 minus 10. Now our next step is multiplication and division left to right. 24 divided by 3 is 8 times 9 is 72 minus 10, which is 62. Okay, again, your homework, page 24, 8 to 42 even. Don't do the odds or you'll be sad.